I'm back with another educational beauty video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to brighten dark areas on your face, whether it be dark circles, pigmentation, or any areas that you may feel that are slightly darker than the rest of your face. We're not going to be using color corrector, so that's a big change. So before you think this is a color corrector video, it's really not. I'm not using orange color corrector, and the reason being is because with orange color corrector you have to wait until you finish that entire makeup look to see whether it's worked. With this little trick I'm going to show you today, with this specific product, you are going to get the brightness immediately. There's no random color on your face where you're going to feel like, oh my god, like this just looks really, you know, wrong to me. You're gonna love this. Now, before we head into the video, I do hope you head over to my online publication called Confessions of a Creative, where I cover several different topics such as self, culture, health, beauty, fashion. I know you're gonna love it there. It's a big mix, and also some journal style entries, which I think you're gonna love. You've got two subscription offers, one which is free, where you get access to some of the site, and then the other one which is paid, which is only gonna cost you around a coffee a month, and that gives you access to the full site, which gives you like detailed newsletters every week along with whatever the free subscribers get. It's super detailed. It's like a lot of detail, so you're going to feel like you're talking to me, which you are, because I'm writing everything. It's all by me. There's like step-by-steps in there. There's like me answering questions which you guys have actually asked on this channel, so I don't always get a chance to really kind of like reply back here, but over there you're going to have access to everything, so I know you're going to love it. So really check it out and let me know what your thoughts are. If you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. I'm over on Instagram too, so head over there if you like some unboxing, some reels. I think you're going to like it there too. Now let's head straight into this video. As always, let's get started with skincare. So first off, I'm going to use my eye cream. Guess what, guys? I'm back with the Drunk Elephant Sea Tango, because I started using this other eye cream and I had a a situation that I've not really had before, which I'm going to do a whole other video on it. And yeah, so thank God, right? I've been moaning about the fact that this hasn't finished, but thank God, like, I'm back on it. So I'm going to use my eye cream, and you know, it's just like, I'm glad I'm back with it, you know, and I'm glad there's still some product in there. So I was moaning about how there's just so much product in there, it doesn't finish, but it's come in handy. Eye cream done. Let's add a little bit of moisturizer. I'm going to use my It Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. Let's get this all over the skin. How are you guys liking the hairstyle today? I thought I'd try something different. I quite like it, but I feel like I need to pull this top bit a bit higher and tighter. Okay, moisturizer is on. We're going to let that settle into the skin before we move on to primer. Now, as I've already mentioned, this video is all about how to kind of brighten up the dark areas on the face. I feel like majority of us have that issue, apart from the select few, which, you know, clearly don't have that issue, and that's fine. But for the ones that do, I've got you covered, right? I know what it's like. We can get some darkness around the eyes. Sometimes you get darkness around here, especially when you are darker skin tone like myself, or even darker skin tone than me. You can end up struggling with the darkness around this area here. So it's for anyone like that. And even if you are a lot more kind of like paler skin tone, you deal with pigmentation issues, this is for you. So this really kind of like ticks the box for every type of person that deals with dark areas on the face. I am going to move on to my primer, and because of the skin kind of foundation concealer products that I'm using today, I'm going to be using my Vanish Airbrush Primer, because I really want a kind of, I would say, like really smooth finish to my skin. So I'm gonna smooth this all over. Now, I know that usually you would think about using orange color corrector on dark areas, but there is another product that I have used, I would say fairly recently. Even though this is not an orange color corrector, I feel like it really did help to brighten up areas. And if anything, I feel like it's a bit more kind of subtle in comparison to an orange color corrector. Sometimes I mean, majority of the time I don't use an orange color corrector. It's only if it's very severely, like I get those severe dark areas for some reason on specific days. Maybe if I haven't had a lot of sleep lately. But this one I feel like is a lot kind of easier to use, and it doesn't look as intimidating to people who are not used to using color correctors, and it is brightening. So I'm going to be moving straight in to this product, which is my Fenty Matchsticks in Banana. This is great because I feel like it's kind of not too fluid, so it really kind of stays in place. Whereas when you're working with like a color corrector like my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish color corrector, it's quite it can become quite kind of like, you know, like it moves around a lot. And I don't like it when products move around too much on the skin because I feel like it's not really going to stay in place. So this one is great for like staying in place. And plus I feel like this also, once you've applied it, it gives you a better indication of how much concealer or foundation you may need to kind of cover up whatever areas you're working with. So I feel like this kind of lightens it to the point where it becomes almost like your skin color, so you can just continue as normal. Whereas when you're using an orange color corrector, you apply it, it's just orange, right? So it really does kind of like, if you're not used to working with different colors like that, it can kind of distort it a little bit for you and make you feel a little bit confused. So let's go ahead and apply this on the areas that I do have some darkness. So first up, we're gonna go here. I'm just gonna like draw this onto the areas that I know I am pretty dark. And some of the areas you may not be able to see yourself, but I can see the darkness there. I would say those are all of the areas that I struggle with when it comes to kind of darkness. Now, next thing, what I'm going to do is use my finger to just pat this into the area. And this is where you'll see what I mean, that it kind of like ends up making that area as close as possible to your skin color. So you kind of see the darkness being kind of brightened immediately, which makes it so much easier to just carry on with the remaining steps that you may have. Like already that's so much brighter, right? So it kind of like deals with the problem at hand before you continue with the rest of the face. And you really want to kind of like keep it in the same area and not blend it so much that it disappears. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to carry on with the rest of my makeup as normal, and you'll kind of see how this really helps to kind of like just brighten up those areas a lot better. So I'm moving on to my Fenty Ease Drop Blur Smooth Tint Stick. This is a new product from Fenty Beauty. I'm really excited about this. This is number 10. This is basically a really kind of like easy on the go blurring stick, which has a tint in there, which really helps to kind of like give you that immediate coverage. So I'm going to be using this. I have used this on its own so far and I really loved it, but today I'm going to see how it works with a foundation as well, if I even feel like I need it. The way to apply this is to, you can just kind of draw it onto your face and then use any kind of product, either your fingers, a sponge or a brush, to blend it in. Now what I'm going to do is just going to kind of like paint this on. I'm going to actually work from the center of the face. There you go. That's enough at the moment. And I'm going to use my sponge to really buff it into the skin. I don't really want to move it around too much with a brush. So I'm going to go in with a sponge and just buff this in. I feel like if you want something that lets your skin still look like skin, this is a really good product for you. I feel like I'm gonna need a concealer for my like eye area and everything, but I really like how this looks on the rest of the face. I feel like this is a product that you can kind of layer on top of because it's a very kind of smoothing product. It's definitely a product I would recommend. I feel like it really does, just your skin looks better. So I'm gonna use a concealer. I'm gonna use my Surat Dew Drop Concealer in number 7, and I'm just going to apply this over my lids, get my sponge so I can just kind of like get a really nice even finish. So you get a really nice kind of bright finish with that kind of banana stick underneath. Let's add some powder to just really get this area kind of matte and set. Let's add a bit of concealer. It's really the main area that I need my concealer on. Like I don't feel like I need it anywhere else because that skin stick is pretty good. So let's just go ahead and buff this in. Okay, let's do this side as well at the same time. I'm super happy with that. So I think we can move on to the next step. If you feel like you need to add more of this skin stick, you can. I mean, you can either kind of like just literally swipe it on, blend with your fingers or a sponge, wherever you feel that you need it. It's actually a very good foundation considering it's a stick. I don't usually like stick foundations, but I'm really liking this. It's just super easy to blend in. I definitely feel like I don't need a separate foundation on top of this. Let's go in with our powder. I'm just going to get my veil brush, put a little bit of extra powder, and then just dust over my face. I really want you guys to see what this looks like, you know, right at the end. So you can see how that yellow, that Fenty stick actually helps to kind of brighten up those areas. So let's just finish this setting. Let's just like get my brows done. So I'm going to very quickly do these brows. This is just my Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. Now that my brows are dry, I feel like actually using my Anastasia dip brow. I haven't used dip brow in ages, so I'm going to go ahead and use Auburn. And I'm using my flat angled brush, which is my Sigma E75. And I'm just going to like do my brows. So I'm just going to literally draw like hair strokes. Do you ever just use products that you used to use all the time and then you use it after so long and you're like, why did I ever stop using this? It's so good. Or you see pictures from like old pictures, not too old, and you're like, what was I using them? Because my brows looked amazing or my skin looked amazing. I wonder what foundation I was using. And it's like, because I definitely don't use that today. It's just really weird, isn't it? It's like, I don't know what, I think because we're trying new things all the time, sometimes we forget that what we have is actually really good. Okay, so brows are done. Let's do like a really quick eye look. I just want something simple. I'm going to use my Sigma E55 brush and use the shade Delicate from my Beauty Bay 16 color eye palette. And I'm going to apply this on certain areas just to open up my eyes. This is also going to help to brighten the eye area. So I'm applying it just in this kind of like inner part of my eye. You might have seen this in one of my hack videos for dark circles. This is something that you can do that really helps to kind of take the attention away from dark under eye circles. I mean, we're talking just about dark areas in general today. So I'm really kind of like focusing on brightening this inner area there. And then I'm going to go into the shade All or Nothing and take this over my main eyelid. Because that one that I just applied on the inner corner, the like inner part of my eye, is a little bit too white for me all over. I just don't want it to look chalky, you know? So this is like a colour which is kind of lighter than my skin, but not too light that it's going to look white or chalky. Right, this is a Sephora brush I'm going to use. I don't actually know what brush this is. I'm really sorry, guys, but there's just no kind of like name on this because it's all kind of like rubbed out. Or it says it says the Pro Shader number 18. I don't know if they still do this. It's quite an old brush. But I'm going to get the shade Warm and Cozy and just kind of apply that very close to my lash line and just press. Like super close as I can get with this brush. Just my upper lash line. Let's do that on the other eye too. Lastly, just gonna kind of go all the way across, pressing so that there's no kind of like unevenness there. Next, going to use my E21 brush from Sigma. I'm going to go into the shade Illicit, which is a black. Going to go super close to my lash line. And just kind of like pressing into the lash line. This is a smaller brush, so it's definitely helping to get really close to the lash line. I'd highly recommend this brush. In fact, you can get this, from what I recall, in my brush set. Right, lastly, we're going to just smooth over, just to make sure it's not kind of patchy. And then just lift ever so slightly at the end. Not too much, I don't want a crazy wing. I just want to just drag whatever's there. And then I can use my finger to drag up. Do the same on the other eye, so we're just going to press this into the lash line. And then we're going to smooth over, so just kind of like drag the brush a bit more. Lift at the end and then use your finger. Just going to take off whatever's on this brush on my Sigma cleaning pad, my switch pad, which is in my brush set. It's a black color that I just used and I want to actually switch over to a slightly lighter color, so that's a great kind of product to just take off the color from the brush so that you can use it without having to wash it. I'm going to use the shade Hot Cocoa, and then I'm going to go really close to my lash line. Just kind of like focus on touching the root of the lash. Not really dragging, just kind of like pressing into the lower lashes. Next up, we're going to use my mascara using my Benefit Fan First because it's just an amazing mascara. I'm absolutely in love with this mascara at the moment. It's just such a good mascara. It's just so quick and easy. Let's add a little bit of lip pencil. I always like buffing it in. And my One Size Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio in medium dark. I honestly really love this just look in general. I think I'm happy with that. Like, I didn't really want too much going on in terms of like blush and bronzer. Yeah, I'm super happy with that. So basically this is the finished look, and I'm really hoping that you kind of see how that yellow really helped. I personally haven't tried any other kind of yellow stick product to help with brightening the kind of dark areas anywhere on your face. This is the only one that I've tried and I really liked it. So I think it's something that you guys are gonna like too. Yeah, it's really easy to use, and I feel like it's so much easier than using an orange color corrector, because that can be a little bit kind of like, it just throws you off because you don't know kind of like whether it's bright yet, whereas this one kind of like it's bright immediately, whereas with the orange one you apply it and you're like kind of, I've got to go through all those steps and that whole process now right until the end to see if this has worked. Whereas with the yellow I feel like it's a lot easier because you just apply it, it's brightened it, and you carry on as usual. So hopefully you've seen the dark areas are nice and bright, it doesn't look dark anywhere now. I'm sending you loads of love wherever you are in the world, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.